Title asterisk, Titanic's Dark Secret, Hook, Midnight to 0:30. You're probably thinking the Titanic sank because of that massive iceberg, but what if I told you that's just a small part of the story? I'm about to share with you a shocking revelation that will change everything you thought you knew about the Titanic's tragic fate. It's a story of human error, corruption, and a series of events that led to one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. But first, let's go back to that fateful night, April 14, 1912. Section 1, The Struggle, 0:30 to 3 o'clock. You've probably seen the movies, read the books, and heard the stories about the Titanic's grandeur and tragic demise. But have you ever stopped to think about the what-ifs? What if the Titanic had slowed down in time? What if the crew had received the warning messages sooner? You see, we've all been in situations where we've had to make split-second decisions, and sometimes those decisions can have devastating consequences. The Titanic's crew was no exception. They were under pressure to break records, to make history, and to prove that the Titanic was indeed unsinkable. But at what cost? On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic was traveling at a speed of around 22 knots, 25 miles per hour, in a known ice field. Pattern interrupt. Can you imagine being on the bridge of the Titanic, knowing you're heading straight into danger? The question is, what drove them to take such a risk? Was it pure arrogance, or was there something more sinister at play? The answer lies in the ship's design and the hubris of its builders. Section 2, The Turning Point, 3 to 6 o'clock. As it turns out, the Titanic's builders, the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, had been warned about the dangers of the ship's design. Specifically, the watertight compartments were not designed to handle the amount of water that would pour in if the ship were to collide with an iceberg. But despite these warnings, the shipyard went ahead with the original design, and the rest, as they say, is history. On the night of the disaster, the Titanic received at least 6 warning messages from other ships about icebergs in the area. But due to a combination of factors, including a faulty wireless telegraph system and a crew that was not adequately trained to respond to emergencies, those warnings were not taken seriously. Pattern interrupt. Imagine being the radio operator on the Titanic, trying to send out distress signals while the ship is sinking. The clock is ticking, and every second counts. The question is, what happened to those warning messages? Were they ignored, or was there a more sinister reason why they were not acted upon? The answer lies in the investigation that followed the disaster, which uncovered a web of secrets and lies that would shock the world. Section 3, The Method, 6 to 9 o'clock. So, what can we learn from the Titanic's tragic fate? Here are 3 key takeaways. 1. Complacency is a silent killer. The Titanic's crew was so confident in the ship's abilities that they ignored warning signs and took unnecessary risks. 2. Design flaws can be deadly. The Titanic's builders ignored warnings about the ship's design, and it ultimately led to the disaster. 3. Human error can be catastrophic. The combination of human error, including inadequate training and faulty equipment, sealed the Titanic's fate. Pattern interrupt. Can you think of a time when you ignored a warning sign or took an unnecessary risk? The question is, how can we apply these lessons to our own lives? By being more vigilant, by paying attention to warning signs, and by taking responsibility for our actions. But there's one more twist to the story, a revelation that will change everything you thought you knew about the Titanic's sinking. Outro, 9 to 10 o'clock. Remember that shocking revelation I mentioned at the beginning? It turns out that the Titanic's sinking was not just an accident, but a perfect storm of human error, design flaws, and corruption. The investigation that followed the disaster uncovered a web of secrets and lies that went all the way to the top of the ship's owners, the White Star Line. It's a story that will leave you speechless and make you wonder about the true cost of ambition and greed. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content. The question is, what's the next story that will shock and inspire you? Stay tuned to find out, and hit that notification bell too.